Good morning, everybody. I think I'm just getting ready to go cutting and I need to mix up some fuel. So what I thought I would do would make a little video just wading into my thoughts on fuel, my thoughts on mixes, all of that sort of stuff. So let me put you up on the tripod and let's have a chat about fuel. Haha, here's a contentious one then, guys. Fuel. This is like the Stihl, Husky, Ford, Chevy, everything else argument, isn't it? It can get contentious very quickly. So I'm going to avoid all the contentious bits because I want to please everybody and I want everyone to be happy and I want this to be a positive, wonderful place. But yeah, I thought I'm just going to mix up some fuel. I thought I would just sort of open a discussion up about it. I might learn something. You guys in the comments are always amazing. So my general thoughts on fuel mix for two-stroke chainsaws is there's two things that are really important. One, especially here in the UK now, I know a lot of you guys are New Zealand or America and all that stuff, and I don't know where your countries are on ethanol content of pump fuels. In the UK now, it's quite high. So we only have two grades of fuel in the UK, really. 95 octane, which I think is like the American 89 octane maybe. And we have 98, 99 octane, which is like the American 91, 93, I think, because the two countries measure octane in a different way. Don't get me started on MON and RON and all those sorts of things. We'll measure octane in slightly different ways, or there are different ways to measure octane. So 91 in the States is equivalent to about 98, 99 here. Anyway, so here in the UK, ethanol is the biggest problem. Ethanol is now either, the manufacturer's allowed to either put 10% ethanol in our 95 octane, or 5% ethanol in our 98/99 octane. Let me just square you up a bit, you're a bit wonky. There you go, 98, 99 octane. So, in fact, you're a bit dirty. Let me just, there we go, just cleaned you up a bit. What do you think of the Wolf Creek Saw Shop hat? Yeah, so there is ethanol in our pump gas. Why is ethanol bad? Ethanol is bad because it attracts water. It's hygroscopic. If it attracts water and the thing sits for a while, that's bad because then water sits in carburetors, fuel lines. It's just a bad thing, isn't it? So ethanol generally, you know, there is an argument for E85 in performance cars. I'll ignore that. That's my background. We can't get E85. So if any of you are proper car guys with big turbos and 1,000 horsepower and you're in Australia or the States, you'll know E85 is a thing. It's not here. We can't get it. Don't get me started on it. But anyway, that whole discussion aside, I think the important things are no ethanol in the fuel and a good quality two-stroke oil. So if you are in the UK, you might not know this. What do they call it? Synergy, I think. So the Esso Performance 9899 is zero ethanol. Esso put a big thing about it on their website. They make a big thing about they are the only people who in the UK have no ethanol in their 9899. So if you're going to get pump fuel, get ethanol. Really, any 9899 I think isn't bad so long as you're using it. The problem with ethanol in fuel is when you don't use it, when it sits in the container, or when it's even worse, when it sits in a chainsaw or a lawnmower, and then it attracts water, it pulls water out of the atmosphere. That water vapor, it pulls out, and then it just, water in these engines is horrible. So my main business is to do with cars, and I store cars, and Sunoco, which you can get in the UK as British American, Anglo-American oils, are the same people that bring Aspen in. Aspen and Stihl Moto Mix. So Aspen is recommended by Husqvarna, probably because Husqvarna don't make their own. still do motor mix. So they're two synthetic fuels which are 100% ethanol free. And not only that, they don't degrade, because that's the other problem with the higher octane fuels. They degrade. So if you leave 98 if it sits in a hot place for 3 or 4 weeks or 5 weeks, it does slowly lose its octane rating. So the wonderful thing about these sort of manufactured fuels is that they stay at the octane rating for 2 years minimum. So, sorry, I'm throwing a lot into this video actually. It's one of those things, I've gone into this quite heavily for cars, which you can hopefully realise. So hopefully you may be learning something. If you are, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe and the, I don't know, send me a little donation or something if you want, which I think you can on the videos now, but don't worry about any of that. I'm very happy to share all of this information. Yeah, so my number one thing, if you can use it, it's expensive. It's about £4 a litre in the UK. I will use Aspen. So Aspen do two fuels. They do an Aspen 2, which is 2-stroke pre-mixed, and they do Aspen 4. I sort of these days prefer to buy Aspen 4 and then mix it myself with a 2-stroke oil that I know and like and love. Again, I've got quite a highly strung 100cc little 2-stroke race bike that I race around go-kart tracks and stuff. That engine is very picky on oil, so I buy really nice oil to put in that bike. And that oil I also use in my saws, because it's an old adage in the performance car world. You know, oil is cheaper than engines. You know, whether you're paying £10 for a litre of oil or £30 for a litre of oil, like a piston, a cheap piston is 25 quid, isn't it? So to me, it's a no-brainer. But yeah, and this, so sorry, to finish that point off, I prefer to buy the 4-stroke, which is just like normal petrol, and then mix it to the ratio I want. Now you use whatever ratio you want. I've settled at about 40 to 1, 42 to 1 with a good quality oil is about where I am. And I run that in anything. Whatever it says on the cap, whatever the label originally said, I just run it in everything. From an old vintage 60s saw right up to a brand new, hopefully fuel injected still 500i. Everything. Because you can't have different pots of fuel for different saws and all that stuff, can you? So also what I do, let me pull you off and have a look. So I also buy this stuff. So this is storage petrol that's made by Sunoco or Anglo-American Oils in the UK. It's exactly the same as Aspen 4, give or take. So it's crucially, it stays at 98 for 2 years, 3 years, and it's ethanol free. And I just mix that up with some really good, fully synthetic motocross 2-stroke oil. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, that's my theory on fuels and oils, really. What do you think? What do you use? Can you get ethanol free fuel in your area? Let me know. And I do think, by the way, if you use these synthetic fuels, the saws run well, and the thing that's very noticeable is they start really well, especially coming into the winter now. So I do use pump fuel now and again. I have had a batch of pump fuel. It's pretty good, but yeah, this stuff, especially going into the winter now when the saws might be left for a bit, is amazing. Thank you for your watches, thank you for your subscribes, thank you for your likes, thank you for everything that you guys do for me. You are amazing. And yeah, I'm going cutting now. So yeah, next videos will be saws in wood. I don't know which saws yet, I haven't chosen, but given the impending arrival of a 500i, I think there'll be 80-ish cc stuff. So maybe 7900. I want to take the 181 out again. And I might take the 362 because I'm still running that in. And I ran that on one of those chopping videos the other day. And I picked it up and went, wow, this thing is layering. So yeah, probably those saws. Oh, and 461 because I'm really enjoying that saw. Anyway, I'm going to leave you to your Saturday or your weekend, guys. Probably Sunday you'll be seeing this. So happy Sunday. And we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.